Rick Wilson, welcome back.
Hey, Molly, how are you? How's your Thanksgiving?
Just the best. Who doesn't love poultry? Delicious.
Absolutely. We served duck this year.
Yeah, because turkey is terrible. Let's start with a man called Steve. It turns out that being from a wealthy real estate dynasty does not necessarily make you a
A
genius
diplomat?
negotiator.
A negotiator? Yeah, no. I mean, look, I think the most probably the ugliest, most devastating piece, folks, if you think you have a calibration on how corrupt this administration is, go read the Washington Post piece from this weekend on
Yeah.
Witkoff and Kushner and Trump, who do not care about Ukraine or America's security. They're trying to make personal financial deals with Russia. The cost is, of course, betraying Ukraine, but they want to make these financial deals with Russia to cash in. It is a level of corruption that even with these guys, I still look at it and go, what? How?
Yeah,
It's dark. It's truly
it's
dark.
dark. It's dark. Also, important to remember that Witkoff is also negotiating with a guy who is also not serving in the federal government. My man, Jared Kushner.
And look, Molly, what we've got here is Kushner and Witkoff and this clown show with Marco. They have now, in order to make separate side financial deals, taken the bait with a Russian written, Russian designed plan to end the Ukraine war. Oh, it's going to end all right. It's going to end with Russian troops and tanks in the streets of
Yeah,
Kiev. And
yeah.
so these guys have shown us now abundantly clearly they are not about NATO, American security, Ukraine. They're about making separate side deals. Like
Yeah.
one of Witkoff's friends is a guy who wants to buy the Russian Nord Stream pipeline,
Right,
and they were in these rare earth mineral deals with
right.
Russia, and they want to do development deals in Russia. All of it is so profoundly corrupt, and the Russians are once again playing Trump and everyone around him like a fiddle.
And I think it's important to see that not only are they trying to cash in, but they're also just completely incompetent. Like there's leaked transcripts of the phone calls with the Russian and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Russian minister saying like this is how you negotiate with Trump.
But
Like
When
every
Witkoff is on the
clown show.
phone, when Witkoff is on the phone saying to the Russians, "Here's how you manipulate Trump. Here's how you get Trump. Here's how you make Trump bark like a dog." I'm sorry, call me old-fashioned and traditionalist, but strikes me as sort of treasony.
And also just incompetent. And that I think the Witkoff incompetence really does, they're corrupt, but they're also incompetent. And so,
Right, you can
because
be corrupt and stupid. It's a
right.
Venn diagram that overlaps very neatly with these people.
And by the way, thank God, because if these guys were good at what they did, we would not have these, leaks of the transcripts, leaks of we would not have the kind of reporting we're starting to see coming out. And by the way, think about if we had a mainstream media like we had in 2016. Think about
Right,
all of the reporting we'd be getting every day, tranches
correct.
of documents.
And now they're so afraid to cover a story. They're so afraid to stand up. They're terrified every minute of the damn day that they're going to end up on the new White House social media hate list.
Right. Though which was offline for a little bit today, which I think is a great metaphor for this admin.
It is a singularly perfect metaphor for this administration because none of these people, when it comes to capability and competence of anything, even their trolling is bad.
Right.
Even
No,
even their trolling attempts are lame.
that gets us to this next story, which is in the New York Times today, which if you haven't read it, it's
Yep.
which is my man, everyone's favorite. And by everyone, I mean no one's favorite, David Sachs, all in podcast bro, crypto king, and also kleptocrat.
Yes, David Sachs, who is a man who is never not wrong. David Sachs's
Yeah.
wrongness ratio, look, I get things wrong all the time, but David Sachs's wrongness ratio is cosmic. It
Yeah.
is it
He's
is
a
beyond the valley of human understanding how
That's
much
right.
of a wrong dipshit he is about everything.
Except using his government connections to make money, and in that
He's
case, he's
pretty good at
been
that, I'm gonna
quite good at
say.
that,
He's
yeah.
pretty freaking good at that. This is a guy who, Susie Wiles even said in that you read that piece, and it's like Susie Wiles is like, "No, you can't host this under the brand of your podcast.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a White
All
House
in does
special
government.
employee, for
But
fuck's sake.
David Sachs is basically a sort of mini Elon, right? Elon comes
Yeah.
in, he does government deals, he slices and dices things he doesn't like. And that's what this is, except is smaller but more corrupt, but also more annoying for any number of
Well,
reasons.
look, he's also the guy who is in charge of, in the White House, crypto and AI. And
Right.
we know 2 things about this right now. We know that crypto is on a free fall right now, but I was told it was going to be the best thing since prepared mustard for the American
Mhm.
people and our
Mhm.
economy. Not so much apparently. And the other thing he's doing is AI, which is increasingly people are figuring it out. The reason we're doing AI is to fire everybody.
Right. Well, that in itself is bad, but even worse is that it seems for so far what we've seen is that it has, as far as I can tell, almost no use except like sloppy photos and bad search.
Well, look, I mean, we're only going to invest $1.5 trillion in it
Right.
through the government, by the way,
As
to
one
help Sam
does.
Altman, as one
Right.
does.
Yeah. Imagine if they spent that money on like
Healthcare.
reporting. Healthcare, fuck healthcare. What I mean, yes, we spend that money on healthcare, but like reporting or
Uh,
like
Imagine, Molly, if they spent that money in
education.
in just straight up education for American kids. I
Right.
mean, imagine that for 1 second. You know,
Subsidize the arts.
all these studies that are coming out this week, like, you know, people no longer view college as a worthwhile investment. Well, of course they don't, because now, you know, you're talking about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and AI is about to suck out the very life out of every job sector that doesn't involve like turning a wrench or wiring a circuit.
I think that some of this AI stuff is really exaggerated. And so, like, because I see a lot of shit that's just
From your lips to
unusable.
God's ear, but I
But
still have very
but
grave concerns.
let's move on to Whiskey Pete. My
Oh,
man,
I
Whiskey
love our
Pete.
boy Pete.
It turns out that active alcoholism is not, I say this as someone who's been sober since I was 19, not the best qualification for doing
You know,
Secretary of Defense.
I think there are a lot of people who have held that that is the case for
Yeah.
some time now, that being a, you know, 5 a day drunkard is not where you wanna be if you're gonna be Secretary of Defense. Having known a few Secretaries of Defense, they generally are men of probity and discipline, and they are not crazy people who, spend more time on social media than they do working to defend the country. But that's Whiskey Pete right there.
Let's just talk about this. He basically tweeted that he does war crimes. Fuck
Yeah.
you,
Fuck
right?
you. The answer was, "I do war crimes, fuck you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?"
But not so unlike Secretary Christie, who was on the Sunday shows saying, "I defy court orders. What are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah. By the way, Kristi Noem appears to increasingly be made out of some sort of synthetic material.
I like it. We don't criticize plastic surgery on this podcast.
Listen, everything in its place and everything in its
Right,
measure,
right.
but
But Sec Christie, she certainly had a
yeah,
lot of plastic surgery.
she basically came out today and was in a position of saying, "Oh, well, I don't care.
Right. I do
Um,
work.
I do war
I do
crimes too.
crimes. Right. Yeah. I mean, the question of whether, like,
Notice me,
whiskey,
senpai. I do war crimes."
Whiskey Pete, what I mean, the reporting we saw today is that after they had blown up the ship, Whiskey Pete may have ordered for them to go back and kill the two other people that they thought
Right.
may or may not have
Listen,
still been alive.
here's the thing, and I'm just gonna summarize this right off the bat. Everything that they say about the president has never issued an illegal order, or the administration's never issued an illegal order, that was an illegal order.
Right.
That was an
No, it's
illegal
true.
order. There is no such thing in American military doctrine and the Uniform Code of Military Justice that says no quarter given. It just
Right.
doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. In fact, we are required, and the example that is cited in the manual of the Uniform Code of Military Justice in this country, the example that is cited says, uses a case of what if people are on a boat and they're injured and out of combat, and what do you do then? Are you allowed to kill them? And the answer is no.
except if you're Whiskey Pete. And
except if
then
you're
the
Whiskey
answer
Pete.
is yes. Even though you're not in a war, right? You've declared war by whatever, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's
you're not in a war, but you're in a,
police
imaginary
action.
conflict
Right.
with supposed drug dealers who are allegedly taking these boats that have, like, a 200-mile range, and they have to stop to refuel, like, 7 times if they're gonna get to America. But
Right.
you better shoot them out of the water right now because obviously Donnie will be unhappy unless you do.
Let's talk about what else we're seeing here. So we have this poll that came out today that was pretty fucking devastating. It was, I mean, that the morning consult, you saw that,
Yep. Look,
Rick Wilson?
Trump's numbers are basically cratering. They're
Right,
not coming back. There's nothing he is doing, and frankly, nothing he can do, Molly, to make this thing change. It's not gonna change.
right,
He has killed his presidency. Anybody who doesn't get that by now is not paying attention. He has killed his presidency economically and politically and temperamentally and morally and from corruption, and it's all going downhill from here. It is never going to get any better. This is not a world where people are gonna wake up tomorrow and go, "You know, Trump's had a really chaotic 197 days," or whatever the number is now, "but, you know, I'm really gonna give him a chance now because obviously this is a guy who really he's putting it all out there. He's really doing his best." Is
yeah.
he?
Is he's not, but it is interesting to me that we have gotten ourselves into such a moment here where there is, so we have these cratering numbers. We have, he's underwater on everything.
Yep.
Affordability continues to be this sort
The
of,
bleed on underneath everything with him is
right,
affordability.
is
The
affordability.
economy is killing him. And here's the funny part of this. You know that thing we always talked about in the first administration, like, there wasn't a lot of adult supervision, but there were occasionally people who would go, "Sir, we can't take this argument because no one will buy it."
Right,
Right now, when he says the economy is the best it's ever been, we're the hottest country in the world, every single person in that White House says, "Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. There's no dispute. Here's a poll that says so." And it's all a lie. And they're doing him a massive disservice, but I'm here for that.
can we do a
Carry on,
minute,
Susie Wiles.
can we do a minute on what the Trump's big problem here, because it
He
is,
sucks.
well, but it's also, he has an unreality problem, right? His polls are, he says his polls are great. He says his numbers are great. He says the economy's great. And
That's why we definitely
he,
haven't released the numbers because they're so great we can't release those numbers.
but it is like when you have problems like that, when you get into a sort of unreality problem, which this president has, there's no
Oh, yeah.
way out of it. Explain to us what that is about.
Yeah, Molly, a big part of this problem is once you've decided, once you go all in on the bullshit, once you go all in on saying the sky is purple and not blue, and Donald Trump, weighs 175 pounds, and he's more fit than a Navy SEAL and all the other
Right.
garbage, all of that stuff, it eventually adds up to where when you have to tell the truth about something, even if it's something that's actually good for you, nobody buys it. This is the boy who
Right.
cried wolf over and over and over again. And unfortunately for Trump, being the boy who cried wolf, it runs directly up against the actual economic realities of every American. Every American family knows the economy sucks. They
Right.
get it. They see it. They know their groceries are more expensive. They're in the grocery store. They're swiping that credit card or that ATM card in the grocery store. They're paying those prices at the gas pump. None of that, you can't bullshit people away from what's really happening in their actual lives.
One of the things Trump does, though, which I think is interesting and I'd love you to talk about, is he'll say, well, maybe we'll do a check, a dividend check for
Sure.
tariffs.
Sure.
Right. There's no way he can do this, right? There's no,
There is zero mechanism for doing this. And I will tell you one other thing that I've heard over the weekend from a person who was involved in the first administration
yes.
told me that when they did the COVID checks, the stimulus checks for COVID, that was one thing. There is no appetite in Congress now at all to do a fake tariff check. He could not get it through the House. There are
Right.
enough conservatives in the House, and I mean that in the old way, the small C way in the House, who they're gonna go, oh no, we're not spending X billion dollars to give out or
And
$1 trillion to give out $2,000 checks.
which gets us to the Mike Johnson problem, which is Donald Trump does not have a Speaker of the House who is a Mitch McConnell. He doesn't even
No, no,
have
God, no.
a Kevin McCarthy. He's got a man who basically has, at this point, we are in discharge petition palooza, which means a discharge petition is when the House decides, fuck leadership. These
Right.
are things we want to vote on. We're just going to bring them up
We're just
ourselves.
gonna do what we want. I mean,
His,
really, it is the end of the
it's
traditional speakership, Molly.
right,
It is a total departure from what used to be, remember, the House already decided, at least the Republicans did, they're not going to be a part of the traditional tripartite government, of
right.
having a legislative branch. They already decided that. They
They're
already
giving
said,
up their
"Yeah,
power because
screw
they
it."
let Trump and Russ Vought take over.
That is correct. And because of that, we're now in a position where no one in the House can say no to Trump.
Right.
No one in the House can say, "Stop it, you're being crazy," or "We won't do
But
this."
but can I just say no one in the House leadership can, but
Correct.
Republicans in the House who are not in leadership with these discharge petitions have very vocally said, "We don't give a fuck what Donald
Right.
Trump wants."
And
And
that
there's
number of people that are supporting these discharge petitions is rising, not falling.
right.
This is
And
not it's not gonna ever get any easier, and in terms of the spending, to do the imaginary DOGE checks or the imaginary tariff checks would require them to pass a spending bill. As we have
right.
seen, they are not great at passing spending bills.
Right. No, no. They are very much not great at passing spending bills. I think that is a great
A mild way of putting that.
mild way of placing it. Rick Wilson,
Molly Jong-Fast.
will you come back?
I sure will.